Alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to another weekly analysis. This one is week 4 of November, inshallah ta'ala. And let's just get straight to it. Make sure you leave a subscribe if you're not subscribed already. So first thing you want to do, open up TradingView. A few things. This one's going to be quite a bit of a short one, only because last week is when we took our entries. This week we're just in swing trades, just letting it play out, seeing what price action wants to do. Right. So I do still have a bullish weekly profile. Reason being, if I take it to the weekly, I have this previous weekly high as a target. Reason why I say that is because what we closer to the previous weekly low, which is down here, or the previous weekly high. We are closer to the previous weekly high, so I can expect this to get grabbed before we see any form of consolidation or a reversal to the downside. If we take it now to the daily chart, I know that this liquidity sweep, this was a very nice swing high that got swept. And obviously, we've had some form of consolidation ever since it got swept. However, this one here is my next target right there, 100.5. If you know me, when I've been trading, I've been telling you, look, the point 0.3, point 0.5, and point 0.8 levels in the markets is always a good form of retracement or reversal. And this here is 100.5, as you can see. So yeah, this daily high is my next target, which is should be quite close to the weekly high. So this one's 103. So that'll be somewhere around here. So it'll be this candle here, which looks more like a swing high on the daily. All right. So if you watch the last week's weekly analysis, we can see we've had great reception from this breaker block. This was I think it was a weekly breaker block, or was it a monthly? Or it might have been a 4 hour. It's gonna be too far back for me to go to right here. It's a 4 hour. So what we had here was a lower low to a higher high. So the last bullish candle before that was this one right here. So it's a nice little breaker block right there. So that's what we are reacting off now. As you can see, clearly reacting off it. Yeah, so where's price now? Price is consolidating from a previous daily high sweep. So from this, because look, that was even an equal high. We've swept it, and now we've been coming down, giving a bit of a retracement. We can kind of see we have this institutional order flow entry drill. Price never closed in this fair value gap, which is strong indication for more bullish prices. Yeah. And then, so where's price now? Coming from a previous daily high sweep. So a bunch of buy side liquidity was swept. Where's price going to? The next buy side target, which will be here, 100.5. And where's price coming from? Where's price coming from? Where's price going to? Where's price at now? Right now, we're just slightly consolidating within this little range here. So we're consolidating throughout this breaker block, all right? Lower targets here. There might be a chance to get in from here because look, if it's a bullish weekly profile, right, what does that mean? It means that Monday and Tuesday, potentially Wednesday is going to create the low of the week and the rest of the week is going to continue the expansion. So we can expect a lower pricing to potentially give us more entry chances if you're not already entered in the trades. I'm very hands off, just watching, all right? I explained in the last weekly analysis using the cut data and a lot of fundamentals why I believe DXY will be bullish. So if you take a look at the trades that I'm actually in right now, so here's my re-entry. If price gets to here on Tuesday, the zero point 0.5 level of the OTE, if I take it back to the daily, so I entered from the 0.62 level. If I have another chance of a re-entry on the zero point 0.5 level, I will take it. And I'm targeting this buy side liquidity, sorry, sell side liquidity right here. Right, and what this looks like on the 4 hour. It's not this one, not that sell side liquidity. If I can find it right here. This, because all we've had is bearish pricing. As you can see, this is very bearish pricing, and we've just had a little retracement from this um fair value gap here. I'm pretty sure it's a news event. Yep, 1st of August, it was an NFP. So we had a strong bullish NFP candle, and all we've had is retracement since. So I can expect price to come back. It's kind of touched the premium of the ranges, the premium of this range, and we're coming back down strong where this is my draw on liquidity. So I'm currently still in trades. If you're not in trades, then mark this OTE out, this daily OTE, and you can potentially get in at the zero point 0.5 level. So this is the internal range that we're working with right now. We've had this sweep, so potentially I can even change my internal range to this. So at the zero point 0.5 level, 0.62 level, you get me? So another trade that I'm also in was my oil trade. Let's see how that's going. Crude oil, there it is. If you take that to the 4 hour, kind of reaching back. No, we're not even reaching back for entry pricing, but what I can expect now is this is all technically, we're going to look into the fundamentals in a sec. Can expect a run on the previous daily high before we see further movement down. So we just had a run on the previous daily high actually here, and we have started a little move down. And what that looks like is potentially just closing this fair value gap. If we put the internal range in the OTE, let's see how that's gonna look. So the close of the fair value gap will be at the 6-1 level. Um, there's even more chances in deeper OTE levels to get in. So if my entry comes back to entry level, then I'll let you know in my Telegram, which is free in my Instagram bio. But yeah, this is the trade I'm currently also in. And last but not least, the next trade I'm in is USD Canadian dollar. This one's going really sweet. Right now, we are in a bit of consolidation. One thing that I did forget to mention, the reason why we are consolidating is because if you take it to the daily chart on DXY hit its drawn liquidity, being these equal lows. As you can see, the OT is drawn up from these highs to, it's a bit hard because I've got a lot of markings. So this is your internal range, right? Let me take this off. So from this low to that high, that was the range. We got into deep OTE level, which is where we entered, and we was targeting this drawn liquidity. We have swept this drawn liquidity. However, I do feel DXY has a little bit more push to grab this swing high as well. So that's why we are currently consolidating in Euro USD um as well as USD CAD. So this is what happened with Euro USD. So it got to here, which is when DXY hit its drawn liquidity, and then we started having some form of consolidation. I could expect more consolidation. Whether or not I get tapped in for another entry, I'm not too fussed, but I do expect to move down until my drawn liquidity is met. However, when it gets to here, I might just potentially come out the trades because I'll be more than happy with this 6 to 1 RR and this 1.74 RR. All right. So this one was a more of a this one was my original entry. And as you can see, we never actually got into deeper OTE levels, having high time frame confirmations on DXY. And then USD CAD, you can see like we've had a strong move up. So this is where DXY hit is drawing liquidity, and then we've just had a bit of a retracement since. So I can expect more retracement until um we continue and move higher. If you want to get into USD CAD trade, I could potentially advise this is a lot of sell side liquidity, right? So a sweep on all this consolidation into one of these fair value gaps on a 30 minute to then continue higher. That's what we could look for. So now let's see what news events are happening this week. It should have been the first thing I done, but it's all right. I'm not actually currently taking trades. So we got PPI tomorrow. What does that mean? I can expect is there a news event on Wednesday? We've also got unemployment claims on Wednesday. However, three red folders on Tuesday, one red folder on Wednesday. I can expect Tuesday to make the lower end of the weekly profile. You get me? I can expect Tuesday to make whether it's the high or the low. Yeah, my bias is a bullish weekly profile. However, like I'm not gonna always be 100% right, so right. Like I'm not a market maker. So what I can say is that whatever Tuesday decides to do will be either the high of the week or the low of the week. Wednesday with this news event, I can potentially look for a previous daily high or previous daily low sweep, all the way towards drawing liquidity. No news event on Thursday and Friday. So this means I can actually expect Tuesday to make the high or the low of the week and Wednesday to make the complete opposite range of the week. How am I gonna know? I'm just gonna be using DXY and the weekly open to see bodied candle closes, either on the most more or less on the 4 hour. So right now, as I said, a bearish weekly profile requires us to make, sorry, a bullish weekly profile requires us to, for Monday and Tuesday to make the low of the weeks. Monday so far is a bearish candle. I can expect Tuesday to also be a bit bearish and then start our change in state of price delivery. So then once I see a 4 hour candle body close above the weekly open, then I can be much more certain that this is our drawn liquidity. So let me just go on the daily. Once I see bodied candle closes on the 4 hour chart above weekly open, I can rest assured that this is our next drawn liquidity that we're going for. Another thing that I like to specify on the Euro USD is that we are actually in a market maker sell model. If you look at it, say this itself here is your market maker sell model. Get me? So we had this little started off with a little consolidation, made a high, a bit of rebalancing, a bit more consolidation, and now we're going back down, rebalancing in the same places that it was rebalancing on this side, and then finally around here, this side. So yeah, like I can expect price to actually push lower. So another thing that I would like to check always is my Yahoo Finance to see what fundamental news there are and what macros is giving me. Just give me a moment. See what's going on with DXY. If there's anything interesting happening with the dollar that I need to know. Is the US dollar a risk as Fed remains divided on rate cuts? What rate cuts will mean is a dump on the DXY, which is we all know is the high time frame distribution that we are waiting for. As you can see, dollar's been in a bearish trend. So I can expect all of this to just be repricing of the dollar to then start distributing. Obviously, I know I'm aiming here, but I doubt we're gonna get anywhere near there. But potentially we'll get like around here. You get me, and then hopefully see that bearishness continuation. And if Fed the cut rates, then we know that means that it's gonna be the dollar's gonna be weaker, which means a bearish in DXY, inversely correlated with a bullish Euro USD or GBP USD. But however, unless there's nothing solidified to show us this just of yet. It's just market manipulation and news events. Why the US dollar will keep falling even if 2026 economy improves. The reason why, let's see. The reason being because everyone's focused on BTC and XAU and futures. Get me, you can watch this in your own time, but we know that the main focus from the Trump administration is crypto and um futures prices such as XAU. I go back. Um, Stable coins are rising. We all know stocks up as US rate hopes sees NAS. Yep, so stocks are always going to be up. As long as people are losing hope in the dollar and the dollar's falling and the Feds remain divided on rate cuts, then stocks are gonna people are gonna be putting more of their money in stocks. And dollar slightly higher on yen weakness. This one was interesting because if you actually if I take it to the yen futures, what we can see. Can see a sharp bearish moves, right? So the dollar index is made up of all different currencies put together, and we can see that the yen has started to give it a sharp move. And what that's going to do is anything against the yen, we should expect that to also go down. So that will be not USD JPY, for example, USG JPY, sorry, Euro JPY, GBP, JPY, we can expect bearishness in the long term because why? Because the yen is weakening. So dollar slightly higher on yen weakness. Is there anything else of notice? Dollar might fall on prospect of December rate cuts. Yeah, like my thing is, yeah, this is week 4 of November. I believe after this week, yeah, then we're gonna have that original market cycle of the end of the year being a bit meaty, very slow, consolidating. Because look, all of this is a consolidation. Probably gonna shoot just a bit higher up to here, and then we're probably gonna start like just coming back down very slowly. And December's also always slow. However, December is fast for XAU markets and stock markets, S&P 500, your US 30s, your Nasdaqs. That's when the futures love to move, futures and indices. So that's going to be all for this weekly analysis. Inshallah ta'ala, leave a subscribe as well as that. Here are my positions one more time, or you can just rewind it and go back on it if it's something that you wish to take. Assalamu alaikum.